The government. You know, that thing all of us live under? Well, I mean, some of us. I can't be the only one who thinks that they're kind of a drag. I mean, come on. I have to pay taxes, allegedly. Buy insurance? I may even have to enlist my own life in service to it. Surely there has to be some way to get rid of it altogether, right? Hello? Wait, what? There is a way to get rid of it, apparently. Turns out, people have been trying to do away with the government for as long as we've ever had them. And at least some have worked. But what can I do? I mean, I'm just a broke young adult, and chances are you are too. So how are we ever going to wind up dismantling the institutions of a state? Well, you're in luck. It just turns out that if you knew, you too can coup. It's true. But what are the ways I can take over a government? And which one is right for me? Well, sit tight and listen up, because I'm going to show how your broken, depressing, and empty life can be full of riches, glory, and prestige. And all you have to do is, completely infiltrate the institutions of the state and somehow get yourself empowered. Come on, no biggie. Let's start. This is the option if you're a nobody, if you have nothing going for you and are relatively unhappy with the government, because a revolution is a movement of the masses. The revolution is a very vague term, and chances are it's the word to use when talking about a change in government. The term revolution derives from the Latin word a turn around, and no, not the turnaround you'll be doing once you're arrested for watching this video, but a turnaround in the political structure of the country. The revolution can happen at any time and doesn't have any planning or coordination with it. It's almost always led by a large mob with the aspiration to change social and political structures along with the leadership. Sure, you could intricately plan a clean and bloodless coup, but I mean, where's the fun in that? Sometimes you just want to YOLO yourself at a government building and hope for the best. And boy, is a revolution the best option for you. You won't have a clear leader, but rather an angry blob of people who seek to dismantle whatever thing is making them so angry. The problem with this is that if you somehow don't get mowed down and actually dismantle the institution of the state, you gotta rebuild it with something. And the power vacuum left after is one very hard to fill and hold on to. So a revolution is probably not the type of overthrow you and I are looking for. Let's move on. This is the option if you either want your own country separate from the one you live in now, or are a prominent member of the armed forces, with men who command great loyalty to you. The Civil War is clearly a popular choice, considering there were over 100 of them in nearly 50 years, and still a ton going on right now. The Civil War is, well, a war, and is usually between parts of the armed forces and the population, with the aspiration of regime change. Of course, if you want to be cool, nobody fighting a civil war calls it a civil war, but rather an internal conflict or just foreign aggression, since, they recognize themselves as independent. Also, this ain't some swift internal coup or massive revolt. This is an open conflict with strategy, planning, and all that stuff, which is a lot of work for our young, tired, and lazy minds. Additionally, if you want to have a civil war in our modern world, I hope you like foreign policy. Because the great powers of the world will want to get involved. You better let them, because if you don't, your opponent certainly will. Unless there are more prominent regional powers, like Saudi Arabia and Iran, you'll probably have to court either the US or China, or possibly Russia, but I mean, come on, they got a lot going on their plate right now. Overall, a civil war is not the type of thing we're looking for, so we're gonna move on. This is the option if you're a mid-ranking officer and also Spanish or South American. I know a lot of my viewers are, so I'm speaking to you. As you can tell by the name, this is the Spanish version of a coup d'etat, and it differs from the actual coup d'etat because, firstly, it's only led by mid-ish ranking military officers, and secondly, in true Hispanic fashion, it's not stealthy whatsoever, and is a very loud and public thing. It would be led and planned out by you, and carried out in the name of the whole officer corps, and follows a 3-step process. First are los trabajos, or the works, where basically you have to sound out the opinions of the army officers, and understand their feelings toward the government. You need to see if they're chill with the ruling leadership, or if they're down to change it. Second are los compromisos. This is where you need to find the officers who don't like the government, and make commitments and promises to get them on your side. Finally is the call for action. This is where all those mid-ranking officers come out and publicly declare their opposition to the current government and appeal to the troops to follow their officers. They do this to hopefully win the support of the civilians and form a new government. Speaking of winning over the support of the people, it'd be pretty cool if you subscribe to the channel. You could like the video too. That'd be pretty cool. It really helps me out. Of course, I mean, if you don't want to subscribe, that's okay. It's just that, I have a list with your name on it. I know who you are. I won't forget it. Anyways, back to the video. If the military and civilians like what they hear from the call for action, then the government really stands no chance. But in the fairly likely scenario that they don't like it, you have to get out of there ASAP. Though it is certainly a unique method of regime change, it's pretty useless considering I myself am not a Spanish mid-ranking army officer. But hey, if you somehow are, firstly, why are you on this channel? And secondly, go for it. Do you lead a part of the armed forces? Is your country currently fighting a war or just fought a war? Maybe a putsch could be for you. This method of regime change is definitely a unique one, and it's typically pretty violent, so I hope you're okay with that. Additionally, it is led by a formal body of the armed forces instead of just some random soldiers. I'm sure you can remember when that guy who cooked Putin's meals decided to use his massive state-funded private military company to march right up to Moscow. Wow, what a sentence I just said. That would be an example of a putsch. You have a formal, integrated part of the armed forces unhappy with the current government in a time of war, and thus took action to achieve its goals. Of course, I personally am not leading a branch of the armed forces, nor am I in a war-afflicted country right now, so I'm gonna have to pass on this one. But hey, maybe you'll take more interest than I do.
А вы умеете прощать?
Да.
А что невозможно?
Предательство.
This is the method for you if you're already in control of a different country. Don't worry, I have plenty of videos to do that too. A liberation is pretty simple. It's just when a regime is changed by foreign intervention. This can be with a military intervention, like Europe in World War II, or a diplomatic intervention, like the installation of communist rule in Romania. So, considering you want to overthrow your government, not another one, this is most likely not the method for you. Unless, of course, you fancy meddling in someone else's government. In that case, maybe go talk to America. They can hook you up. This is for the person who doesn't want to take over their own government, but make their own nation rival your current one. Unfortunately, doing this requires a lot more people than just you. You'll likely need a religious, ethnic, or political bond with a large number of people to see this through. And that's just a lot of work, isn't it? An example of these guys would be the Taliban. No, not the Taliban right now. They're in control of the government, but the Taliban from 2002 to 2021, when they were constantly fighting and trying to rival Kabul. An insurgency requires you to counter and go against your own government, and will likely not lead to you seizing control of the government. So let's not strive to do this one. Maybe save it for a rainy day or whenever you're bored. Now the coup. The coup is special. This is, by far, the most accessible for your young, inexperienced adult self. A coup d'état is a method of regime change that uses the power of the state against itself. It infiltrates a small but critical part of the state apparatus, which then displaces the current government and fills it with a new one. It's incredibly sneaky, much like myself now that I'm on every intelligence watch list for telling you these things. It's not assisted by intervention of the masses, like a revolution, or large-scale armed forces, like a Pronunciamiento, mainly because the masses and military are out of your reach, since, we don't have control in them, so we really shouldn't plan around having them. Additionally, unlike the typically leftist coup, or the more often rightist putsch, coups have no political orientation. There is no prediction as to what kind of government a coup will end up with, which is perfect for you. The coup is the greatest blank canvas when it comes to regime change, and this is one that's accessible to any and everyone. So if you ask me, let's do a coup. It's good for me and it's good for you. To subdue the state in two is nothing new. It's true that you can coup from Nauru to Peru, just follow through and stick to me like glue. So, like and subscribe, and in the next video, you'll learn everything you need to know about scouting out and planning your very own coup d'etat. And remember, I'm rooting for you. Thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe. We have another video coming up very soon, and I don't want you to miss it, but thank you for watching, and have a great day. Bye.